Hello, everyone. It's Monday, and we are here for another talk on the book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting, The Astonishing Power of Feelings. Now, we've been talking with Jay-Z about this book for a few weeks now, and Alexander Lumiere is here with us, who has been studying manifestation on his own. But he claims to be a noob at manifestation. So, how do you know you're a noob?
How do I know I'm a noob? I don't think you know you're a noob. You only know what you don't know. But I know that I haven't read as much about it as you do.
Yeah, but you got more years of wisdom on us.
Do I? Are you just saying I'm old?
No, no, no. I just meant that your wisdom transducer is more powerful than ours. Okay. So we're on
Okay.
chapter let's see, I think chapter two. We're on chapter two called Our Magic Genie. And so we had learned last week that we should have to identify what we don't want, then from that identify what we do want, get into the feeling place of what we want, and then expect, listen, and allow it to happen. Well, this chapter is all about the feelings place. Okay. So the first thing she says is we have to learn to identify a good feeling from a bad feeling. Well, she says,
Doesn't seem
learn to tell a wonderful feeling from an everyday downer one and watch the magic happen. Like, why is that even important to manifestation?
I think because we want to have a life that has more good feelings than bad feelings.
Well, I
Does
think
it
it has
seem
something to do with
obvious?
specifically with manifesting stuff. So, like, if I was, let's say I was manifesting the Moira Press bead business, and I was like this, I have a freaking bead business, and it's a bummer, but I have one.
Oh, or if you're like, oh, I wish I had a bead business, and then you have a bead business, and you're like, oh God, because I have this bead business, now I have to spend my time sorting beads, or now I have to do this awful thing, or now I have to do that awful thing, rather and concentrating in like the bad feelings about what happened in your manifestation than the good feelings of like, oh, now I've created all these things and I can have a booth and then I'll have all these things to sell and things to talk to people about and things that will make them happy and they can buy and take home.
Lumiere, have you ever met a downer person before?
Oh yeah. Like I grew up on the East Coast. Almost everybody I know.
And did you want to do what they were doing, or like, how does a person's mood affect if you want to join them or not?
Well, you first of all, I think that you have to be attuned to it because if you don't, if that's the norm, let's say, you don't know that this is a downer. You just think this is the norm. So then when you move to, say, the West Coast, where everybody's in smiles and Birkenstocks, you you have to say, "Whoa, wow, this is look at all these people. They're happy and have their lattes and then somebody comes along and says that'll never work, and you think, oh, that person's really different. But in this context, I think it's where it sounds to me like it's about where you focus your energy. So the more that you focus your energy, the more tuned it is. It's like laser technology. So if you focus on negativity, that's what's going to happen. And if you focus from what you were reading, that's it. I don't know why I'm pointing like not 3D,
Well, I know
but
you do learn this. Like I learned somewhere to write gratitude lists. Like when people are like everything's bad and everything it's raining and all this stuff, and you're just like God, you're just a downer. It's like, can we get a gratitude list from you? Like, oh, I'm grateful that the sun rises and the birds are chirping, and I'm grateful that I have food to eat and I had some oatmeal, and like, and then you're like, okay, 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 but it's like it's all about how you see your day.
right.
So what's with this separating the bad feelings from the good feelings?
Well, she says when we feel good, when we think thoughts that have to do with joy, such as appreciation, delight, pleasure, exhilaration, enthusiasm, reverence, awe, gratitude, love, all those warm fuzzies we relish when they happen. The reason those thoughts feel so good to us is because they vibrate at a high frequency, which is most definitely our natural state. So I think she's saying that when we are manifesting something, if we vibrate at a high frequency, that we're more likely to attract good things than if we vibrate at a low frequency. So like you're trying to manifest a boyfriend, right? So like what if
Oh
you
yeah.
were let's say you be all low frequency in your manifestation.
Oh God, there's no guys to date here. And then I met this one guy and he was just so weird. And then I met this other guy and he was really angry and I'm never gonna get a boyfriend. How's that?
Totally. Okay, let's see
That's
high frequency.
Oh, let's see. Wow, I stumbled upon this new place that I didn't actually meet any guys at, but it was a really cool place. And it made me think that of this other thing that I could do, and I'm gonna go do that thing, and then maybe I'll meet someone there. And anyway, I'll have a good time while I'm doing it. So, you know.
Whoa. I totally want to date the first guy. No, I'm just kidding.
that's right. That's right.
Lum Sorry.
The,
Lumiere, do
the
you want to do one where you do negative? What are you manifesting right now?
um, uh, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Okay.
I'd
Um,
have to pick one thing, but I mean, yeah, I'm manifesting an amorphous mass of stuff
of
that I want to go well. That I
okay.
could say,
Well,
this is just not going to work. I'm going to be broke. I can't get the thing. Christmas is coming. This is tragically uh, broke time every single year. I can never plan for it. I'm 72 years old, and why can't I get this right? You could say that.
Wow.
Or you could
so
say, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to make this work. This will work. This will work.
I like that. What were you gonna say, Jay-Z?
Well, from her method that we've learned so far in the last chapter, you first start with what you don't want. And so it sounds to me, Alex, you're like, I don't want to feel like I'm broke this Christmas and can't afford to get the things that I want that will make me and my family happy.
That's what you don't want.
That's what you
That's what
don't
you
want.
don't.
Yeah, well, that's
And
true.
then from what you don't want, you turn it around to like you hone in on like what you do want. And it's like you try to find the feeling of what you want. So maybe the feeling is, dollar bills everywhere. But maybe the feeling is you want to feel like you have enough and you were able to provide what you want, what your kids wanted for them, you know?
Right. I mean, really, it'll all work out. But I want to feel like I have enough. The thing is, I do have enough. I just have to feel like
Yeah. Well, okay, so her whole point of this chapter, and this is why Jay-Z calls her a try-hard, is that she says if you have any, let's say you say, I'm
that. A
manifesting a
slur?
ton of Christmas stuff for my babies. Like, we're gonna have a great Christmas and all this stuff. And then you start doubting yourself and you're like, oh no, but I don't have a lot of extra money. And like, I don't know. And then you start getting into the down in the dumps. She says you're supposed to turn around right away because any negative frequency that you do is like basically attracting negativity. Like she's kind of like a force it till you make it person. Like you got to like turn it around and be like, no, abundance of joy, and like, what do you guys think of that? Like, is there something to be said for like trying too hard towards your manifestation? Like it makes me think of that guy in Think and Grow Rich, Jay-Z, where he wanted his deaf kid to be hearing, and he held on to the vision for 20 years until this kid got a hearing aid when he was 20 years old. And then he's like, see, I manifested it. I'm like, you had to wait 20 years to like force what you wanted to happen. Like maybe the world is saying accept what is, or like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like of like how much should you force it with like fake positive emotions, or like what is that, is that fake?
But I don't know if it's fake if you believe it sincerely. If you think, I think that guy was wrong in some way, but I can't put my finger on what. You have to think, well, he wasn't looking at it from any point of view except his one.
Well, I think he was wrong in his vision. Like I think wanting your deaf kid to hear is like a kind of a faulty vision. It's like, can you
Right.
your deaf kid to just be awesome with how they are? Like, you know, I feel like I would have tweaked his vision if I could have talked to him, you know, but that maybe I don't know, like
Well, the thing is, he thought his kid was broken, as we
exactly.
both know. So what he has to do is ask himself, is is my kid broken or not? Is this something I need to fix or not? So he has to have a conversation with himself before he can ask.
So I mean that's kind of what Jay-Z and I figured out, that if you can't make yourself feel happy about your vision, it's because your vision is faulty. Like Jay-Z, can you speak to how you tweaked your dating manifestation sentence to be better?
Oh yeah, well I had started with a manifestation of like I have a boyfriend who is, smart and woke, right? And then I would say that to myself, write it out in my affirmations every morning, but it like felt forced and not true because it was like not true. So I tweaked it to be that I date guys who are smart and woke. Cause like that's the kind that and that makes me feel good. Like, oh yeah, I'm the kind of guy who dates that kind of guy. And
Right.
like it's gonna happen. Like that is true. I do date those kind of guys. I mean, I haven't found one lately in the area, but that's still nonetheless it's true. Like I date guys who are, you know, smart and woke. But I also say that like my problem with her tone of being like is even like not so much she wants you to force things or fake things, as her whole tone seems to be about like, well, the reason you haven't gotten anything so far in life is because you think negatively. And well, of course, you thought that and the opposite happened because we were thinking the opposite, like she's really blamey about your past.
Well, like, okay, she says if you, let's say you want a race car and you start thinking, like, I wish I had a race car. I wish I had a race car. Like, that's actually negativistic, right? But she says you're supposed to, she says you're focusing on the lack of your car rather than the joy of having it. So you're supposed to be like, I've got a race car. I love my race car. I just love my race car. My race car is so awesome. I just love my race car. You're not supposed to be like, I wish I had a race car. What do you guys think of
Because
that?
that implies you don't, that you're in this space where you don't have the thing,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, and maybe it's this thing where it's a little more nuanced than I have a race car now, and it's I have a vision of myself having a race car and it's gonna come true. And
Right.
maybe you can get behind that, you know?
Yeah, I like that
Instead of
because
saying, I wish I had a race car, you can just imagine yourself doing this.
it's
Like, when I have my race car, this is how it's gonna feel.
That's right.
And this is fun. And this is how it's gonna feel when I do have my race car.
Exactly. You're like, when my boyfriend and I, when I'm dating this guy, it's gonna be like this, and it's gonna be like this instead of being like, because it's hard to be like, I am dating this guy and it's awesome when you're not really dating a guy. That's like faking it, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
we gotta
Yeah.
tweak our visions to be exactly like when I got my boyfriend, it's gonna be like this, you know?
As if the thing exists already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're sitting in front of the fire watching The Grinch.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, yeah, we're watching the Grinch and we have abundance of all these like weird little things I made out of nothing. Like, I don't know, whatever.
When we're doing tantric yoga poses.
Yeah, you and your boyfriend.
Yeah, well, The Grinch sounds better, but it's more relaxing.
You'll never be my boyfriend, Alex.
No, no, but I could watch you do a tantric yoga pose as
She
long as
says
you didn't bump my whiskey.
she says you have to start feeling good when you think about the thing and then watch it happen. So like Lumiere, you're like, I feel so good watching the Grinch. I feel so good being crabby. Like it's awesome with my crabby whiskey.
I
I'm
feel
awesome.
so good being crabby.
Then you can have it. um,
Yeah, Andy, do one for yourself that's a negative thing, and then turn it around.
okay, okay. No one's gonna buy my beads when I table on December 15th. No one's gonna buy my beads anyway. Like, just like I'm gonna put all these beads up and I spent $50 on a table and just like no one cares anyway. Like, not like I got my bead business, but no one cares. Or like, I don't know, like I might sell a bead, I might sell a bead, I don't know. And then the positive
You
one,
froze. You all froze. No,
what?
Your
Jay-Z did.
frequency was low, so low that it
That's right. It
stopped.
froze.
Yeah, well, like I might sell a bead, I might sell something. Like maybe the bead business will go. Maybe people will like my beads.
Yeah.
Uh, now
I
do
got to
a high
schlep all these
frequency.
beats down to the convention center
Yeah.
and rent this goddamn cable and put up this cock thing. And that's will never get what you want. I think.
No.
So turn it around.
Okay. Every time I sell a bead, I get high. Like even one bead. If I sell even one bead, I'm just tripping on how fun it was. Like, selling beads is how I get high. I just trip on selling beads. Like every bead sale is a magical bead sale. How's that?
That's great. That's great.
Nice.
Do you guys want to buy some beads now?
No, I don't want to. Yes,
Come back crazy lady.
Okay, you guys. I have written in the book. Wait,
before you do that, where are you going to be on the 15th?
at the Leavenworth Community Center.
In Leavenworth, Washington?
No, it's in Portland, North Portland.
Oh, I'll check it out.
Okay, cool.
Is it a holiday bazaar?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
gonna be bizarre too. How many beads I'm gonna sell?
That's right. You're going to go crazy. I'm out of beads.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, but it's gonna feel so good every time someone even picks up my beads and looks at them. Like,
Yes.
you're looking at my bead? That was awesome. That was awesome.
And you're going to meet great people, probably, even if they don't buy your beads.
Yeah. Even talking about beads is fun. See? I'd pay $50 just to talk about beads for 3 hours.
It
I'm
could
actually
happen.
triply good at this because like I live in this fantasy land. That's like my chart.
Is it?
Yeah, it totally is. You guys, okay, so I have written in my book, fuck yeah. So like okay, so it's like this. I sold a bead, fuck yeah. I'm gonna look at my beads, fuck yeah. Like I don't know if we're supposed to swear on YouTube, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
do you guys want to try the fuck yeah approach on your manifestation?
Yeah, I have to find that.
I watched The Grinch. Fuck yeah.
I'm feeling really content. Fuck yeah.
We're gonna have to work on you, Lumiere. The first thing in manifestation is deciding what you want. You gotta want something.
Well, I have an array of things that I wish would work out. But, I always think about the lottery. Just to use that as an example. I don't play all that much, but whenever I play, I don't think about winning the lottery and having a ticket in my hand. I think about people I know and what I would do with that help.
Wait,
So I think
I'm a
that will,
philanthropist. Yeah.
yeah, fuck yeah. I would be a
See?
philanthropist.
Something
Fuck
you
yeah.
want. I found something you want.
3D.
Yeah. I also have this one in here, you guys. Badass. So you're like, I dated a woke guy. Badass.
That's a good bet. I like fuck yeah better. Badass. That is badass.
Okay.
Tantric yoga, fuck yeah.
Okay, here's another one.
I don't
Booyah.
even know what that is.
Tantric yoga. Booyah.
Yeah.
Booyah. Tantric yoga. Booyah.
Yeah.
You have to
YouTubing
say
with
that
my
in that
friends.
pose.
Bam!
What?
I said YouTubing with my friends. Bam!
Oh, bam. Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, yeah.
Bam. Bam.
Bam! Lumiere is a philanthropist. Yeah! Bam! See how that makes you want it? I don't know why.
Yeah.
The notes in my book. I don't know. Okay.
I think there's also the process of this is interesting. And it could be that the process is more interesting to convert the way you think about things than the actual payoff. I think sometimes I feel like anytime I'm looking for a payoff, where whatever I do, I want it to work at the end, is a byproduct virus of capitalism.
So why does wanting things to succeed equate to capitalism?
Because it's a bottom line. And capitalism is all about the bottom line.
Well, in manifestation, you're actually supposed to disattach from whether or not the success happens. Like I'm actually supposed to be like, someone touched my bead, booyah, and then be like, whatever happens now in real life, I disattach from that because you're not even supposed to care about what really happens really. I don't know. What do you think of that, Jay-Z?
Well, I don't equate it to capitalism because yeah, I think it is I mean, because it's always the journey, not the destination anyway. Like in our example of like it's bogus that that guy wanted something for 20 years and didn't get it and wanted it that whole entire time and then didn't have it that whole entire time. I think that's what we were trying to point out that like it's not the end result at all. And so like that's why maybe in my example I'm trying to change like from the like that I have a boyfriend to like oh I'm enjoying dating people because like that is like on the road.
Yeah,
And when you want the destination then it gets so tied to whether or not you got it and you don't let kind of like life work out the details because you think you've figured them all out, you know? So it is this weird thing. And maybe that's why it goes from like a vision of exactly what you want to the feeling and to try to figure out what the feeling that you want is because that feeling can happen in maybe different ways, but what you're manifesting is like a vision that gives you the feeling by
like your
feeling
Christmas
it.
could be abundant with little gifts that cost nothing. And it's not capitalist at all. Because capitalism says a focus on money. I mean, isn't that what capital is? I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. But I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the mentality of having something pay off.
Well, so like okay, so in Greek they knew about the fantasia realm, which is a realm of thought pictures. And we get fantasy from that word, but in Greek it was a more serious word. It was like fantasia. So they say that in the fantasia realm, everything is perfect. Like you can imagine a perfect cube, but can you mold a perfect cube out of clay? Probably not, right? They say that you're not like humans are actually supposed to imagine things in the perfect form and then let the imperfect form of that roll out in real life. Like that's not capitalist. That's like saying, oh, oh yeah, someone touched my bead and talked to me, bam. And then it's like whatever really happens if like only one person touches the bead, I'm just like, that was interesting. Only one person touched the bead. Okay, cool. But I'm not trying for the perfect vision. I'm trying to let the vision inform my behaviors and then see what happens in the rollout.
Right. Right.
Is that less capitalist?
Well, I guess yeah, it is. Of course, it is. It's just that I'm afraid of wanting something to always show me some successful thing in the end. And I'm becoming more, I have been for a number of years, becoming more process oriented because, uh, and I think the less that I'm hoping for the end, that you don't care if you make a fortune from selling beads. If people come by and they talk to you about your beads and they talk to you about anything and they touch your beads, don't touch my beads, and they touch your beads, then it's just as good. So that's not end product.
Well, and
You
you're
don't.
actually, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, you're talking about something that's really important in manifestation, which is we talk about lead measures and lag measures. That was a lesson from another class where a lag measure is like the outcome that you measure, but it's a lag measure because it happens later. Like with weight loss, like let's say you're manifesting, like I'm going to manifest a thin body or whatever. So then if we wait to see if we were successful by the scale and what that says, that's the lag measure. That would be the payoff measure. But what you're supposed to judge it on is the lead measures of like, did I eat a certain amount of calories today? And did I make decisions today that would have led to weight loss? Then if you did lead measures that were successful, then you were successful instead of waiting for the number on the scale, which is the lag measure. So I think you're like, and you're kind of against that lag measure, the payoff measure. And that's actually correct. Like Jay-Z would say that that's correct, that you don't want to be into the lag measure because that creates unhappiness. You're supposed to only
Because you don't have control over it. And I think that's like a real oh, sorry for butting in here.
no, please do.
But this is like the reason that the going by the lag measure, measuring success against the lag measure is disheartening sometimes is because you don't have control over it. Like you don't exactly have control over your weight on the scale, but you do have control over, how many calories you eat or how many times you go for a walk around the park or whatever. So you try to measure your success by the things that you have control over.
So like if you're trying to manifest a girlfriend or you're trying to get someone to be your girlfriend, right? Like the payoff would be the one day she's my girlfriend. And but really if you act nicely to her daily because you want her to be your girlfriend, then you did a good job. According to this, is that kind of more in line with how you want to be thinking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't want to
correct
think.
there. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you.
I just don't want to think. It won't be successful until I have a girlfriend with girlfriend stamped on her forehead. I want the whole process leading up to that is more important.
Totally. You're supposed to, in fact, you're in manifestation, you're supposed to kind of do all the manifesting stuff and then like let go of the outcome actually in good manifesting. Like you're supposed to be kind of a Buddhist non-attachment to the outcome. Like if Jay-Z was obsessed on the outcome of getting a boyfriend and that's all he obsessed on, he'd be unhappy right now because he doesn't yet have a boyfriend. That's why he changed his sentence to I am constantly dating cool guys. Because it's like it made it more of a process oriented sentence, actually.
Right. Right. That's good. Oh, you can't see that. I downloaded the book from the library.
Nice.
What chapter are you on?
Right now, we just entered chapter 3.
Oh, good.
Okay, so she's talking now about like when you get down on your manifestation and how even a bad moment can take you away from it. So let's say you're manifesting a boyfriend and you have a bad day where you're like, I'm never gonna have a boyfriend. She says you've basically ruined your whole manifestation. She says,
she's really blaming.
I know she's really blaming.
That is blaming.
And like, I just want to
now you did it.
Well, like, I just think from an astrologer's perspective, this is a bad transit. Like when you go through a hard transit, you might get down on your manifestation. So What would you guys say about that? Like, how do we deal with bad moods we take during the twists and turns of the process?
Well, there has to be some ebb and flow, right? Can't just be my boyfriend, my boyfriend, my boyfriend. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is great. And you're sitting alone eating popcorn and watching slasher movies. It's just it would be silly to just think my boyfriend, my boyfriend, my boyfriend. There has to be some ebb and flow. But I think it's sort of like you have it in your head.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
said, go ahead.
I think it's a practice too. Like it's like we're all learning and you have to be, let yourself try things, try experiments, see if they work or don't work, and then like move on, like you tweak things and move on. Like I'm not down on myself for having, uh, a poor version of what I wanted at the beginning. I'm like, oh, now I've got something better. And I think that's what you have to do is keep like appreciating that everything is a learning process in life. Because like, what else are you going to do, right? Is just
Right.
like we're here to like learn things and experiment and see what works and what doesn't. So I think let me maybe being more generous with yourself on those times of transits or whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm more of like massaging the manifestation through the hard, like I feel like every hard transit teaches you something about the manifestation. Here's an example. One of the things I was trying to do was I remember at the Moira Press school, it was the classes at Moira Press are full with are robust and magical. Okay. So like that was one of the things I was like manifesting. And so I remember adding all these classes. So we had classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and some would be small and some would be big and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh, this one wasn't full or wasn't robust, but maybe two is robust. And like I kept like asking questions of my sentence and what I was doing. And so then like over a year, it kind of like tweaked itself to now we only meet on Tuesdays and it's really full and robust because like that group is really full. And like but it took me a year to like get to that manifestation, but it was like, wait, is it full and robust if we do classes every day? Oh, it's not full and robust, but it's like every one of those things taught me about how to get to full and robust, which is this Tuesday class people love, like it was just
Mhm.
interesting. But I do feel like I've arrived there, so now I don't do that sentence anymore because I've kind of arrived at what I wanted. But it took me a year of like going through hard transits and questioning it and all this kind of stuff.
So you got your manifestation, the thing you're manifesting.
Yeah. But I didn't get it Monday through Friday. I got it only on Tuesdays and on Sundays for the Course in Miracles. So it's like those two activities that the crowd liked, and so they become full and magical and robust. And so we ended up keeping those two activities and dropping the rest, and that's how I arrived at my manifestation. But if I was a try hard and pushing it like every day, Monday through Friday, we're gonna have full and robust classes, I would have tired myself out. So it's like I'm not a try hard where I'm just like, come on, come on, come on. I'm just like, whoa, that didn't quite work. Oh, that wasn't magical and robust. Oh, but this is. And then I started to go more
Right.
at what was magical and robust, and like so yeah, I think
So the great thing that you're saying underneath what you're saying is that it's not frozen.
it's a process, right? Like
The
you were saying.
process and it's flexible.
Yeah,
And your manifestation can be flexible.
interesting. That's actually such a good point because most manifestation artists hold the same thought. That's like how you're taught to do it. Sorry, JD.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just thinking the exact same thing. And I think maybe that was our problem with what this guy held on to something for 20 years. Like that seems kind of bogus. Like you got to have some flexibility there.
Yeah. And he
You
wasn't
know?
reading he was he wasn't he wasn't reading the world. He wasn't reading anything else. He wasn't paying attention.
That's exactly what it is. Like I like to manifest and then read the crowd. Do they like that manifestation, right? Like if you
Yeah.
say my deaf kid is broken and he needs to be fixed, and the crowd's like, "Don't say that." You're like, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't be manifesting that." It's like I always listen to the crowd, and in fact, I have a team that helps me with the vision before we go manifesting. Or, it's like I ask people, should we be manifesting this at the Moira Press? And they're like, no, I don't really like that because of this. I'm like, okay. And then we go as a team. Like, so I actually am a big fan of listening to the world as you're doing this. I totally agree with you. Okay, so now she has a list on this page of we don't want. Like she's saying, like, we don't want. You're like is a big thing people do. Like, we don't want to be broke this Christmas. That's what I heard Lumiere say. We don't want no presents under the tree.
I'm sorry it came out that way. That's not really what I want. I have worked so hard to have Christmas be magical for my kids since they were this big. And that's what I want. So I always have this fear, like 3 weeks into it, that it's just not going to be magical. And all the elements that you think about, you have to have time, you have to have a little bit of money, you have to be able to envision the right things. And I want it to be poetry. So it's not just broke. I just want to say it's not just broke. It's that I can make poetry out of the next 3 weeks.
Interesting. So what, and then on the next page, you're supposed to do change it into what you want. So that's exactly what you did. You say, no, it's not that I don't want a broke Christmas. I want a magical Christmas. That's your manifestation. Mm-hmm. I want a magical Christmas. I want a magical 3 weeks.
I want it to feel like poetry.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that sentence. I want the next 3 weeks to feel like poetry.
Yeah. Nice. Is that what she's just focusing on feeling?
Well, she's saying we don't want to focus on what we don't want. Although when we look at what we don't want, that teaches us what we do want. By me saying you don't want to grow Christmas, you're like, no, that's not what I don't want. Like it actually helped you to create your manifestation sentence of I want a magical Christmas. And so I feel like you agree with that one. And that came from the studying what you don't want. And that's kind of, so she says, turn any I don't want, like, I don't want the bead table to be a bust. That's like what I don't want. And you're like, oh, okay. I want a magical busy bead table. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like you just start with what you don't want, but you always flip it around to what you do want. Like you don't want to manifest around a I don't want sentence. If you say, I don't want to be broke on Christmas, I don't want to be broke on Christmas, like all you see is broke on Christmas. Like, so you're not supposed to hang in the I don't want.
I absolutely agree. And one of the things I learned having kids is that you never say, even before I had kids, when I was working K to 12, you never say, don't pour lava on your kid's head because they won't hear the don't. They only hear lava on the head.
Well, you have to create a vision in your head of doing it to then know that, wait, I'm not doing it. And so you're forcing them to create a vision in their head of like, don't run through the classroom. Like they have to think, what does it look like to run through the classroom? Nope, I'm not doing that. But you made them vision it.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you said, Lumiere, walk through the classroom. That's what you do.
Right. That's what perfect. I do. Walk through the classroom. Then they know what because they don't hear the don't. And it's really true that I found that in K to 12. No kid will hear the don't. And even if you're signing to a deaf kid, don't do that. They will ignore the don't.
Yeah. Well, don't make a boring, wan, mundane Christmas. I love sometimes it's good to mess around with the opposite because you're like, I can't even imagine Lumiere doing that anyway. Like, okay, so she says, whatever you include in your vibration for 16 seconds or longer is on its way to you, whether you like it or not.
16 seconds?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put my timer on. I don't know how that actually feels. How does 16 seconds feel?
So if you think I'm having a boring Christmas for 16 seconds, that boring Christmas is on the way to you.
In Santa's sled.
I don't know if I disagree with her, but I'm just like, whatever, lady, you're making it impossible.
I guess we're entitled to disagree with her. Okay, so this is 16 seconds. I'm going to hit the timer. Let's see what we can manifest for 16 seconds and see what happens.
Okay.
All right. I think I'm feeling I'm feeling the feeling of a poetic Christmas time.
It's a winter wonderland. There's just constant magic, like just one magical thing after another.
Oh, and then this surprise little elf jumped out and
Yeah.
Just one surprise after another, and it just everything that happens is so meaningful and just so. And we need 20 synonyms for magical.
We barely had time to get all those things out before 16 seconds was up.
Enchanted. Everything is enchanted.
That's what you can do. Everything is enchanted. There's 16 seconds. Everything is enchanted.
everything is enchanted.
Enchanting everything 1 second at a time. Okay. So, well, that's what's on its way to you. Okay. Should we do a negative one or no?
No, then it will
No,
happen.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
That'll
Okay.
be the last thing you remember.
Okay. Let's do 16 seconds on my bead table.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at this bead table. It has so many wonderful and exciting things that I've never seen before. I've never seen anybody bead plants like this. And I think that if I were to show this or give this to my friend, it would make it such a magical Christmas because it would be an incredible poetic gift.
Did you say something about a beaded plant? Look, you just manifested it.
Look at that.
Whoa, that was weird.
It was great.
Ask and you shall receive at the bead table.
Wow.
Did you need something a commission? Did you want me to make your chart beads?
Just 5%.
I could bead your make beads to your special chart and then make flowers from that even.
Whoa, that would be amazing and beautiful. And then they could be hung on the person's wall.
Yeah. There's nothing boring at the bead table. This is just constantly engrossing.
There are beads for every planet. There are beads for every horoscope. There are beads for every anniversary. There are beads for everything.
That's true. You can mark all kinds of things with beads, like years in sobriety, your astrological sign, birthdays, swimming lessons, anything. Wait, was that 16 seconds?
Oh, it was you you left 16 seconds in the dust.
Now we have like more bead table than we can even handle.
Yeah,
We've
but
totally
that's great.
manifested
I
it.
mean, more is better than less, right? Oh, you
All right, let's
when
try
you said I
16.
want my beat, you just barely got out. I want my beat table, blah blah. That was 16 seconds. It's really not a lot of time. How did she get it 16 seconds?
I don't know, but she
Made
says
it up.
every unhappy moment and every minor concern is the opportunity of a lifetime because you can bless them all. Every negative emotion you've ever had, you just bless it. So she says every time you have a negative emotion, you just turn it around with gratitude and like something, and it's an opportunity to make something good happen with your negative emotion.
Oh, you know what? So, you know how I've been talking about, I can't show it right now because I'm not in that room, but like that book called Cosmic Conscious, no, Co something. Anyway, he's very careful about his words, and if he says something, he has this catchphrase that of something like rewind, reset, or something. He'll say this thing in order to erase what he accidentally said out.
What is it? Like, so he'll say something he doesn't like, and then he erases it with something. He said, like, take that. Well, my old ex-marriage, we did that. We would take stuff back. Be like, I'm taking that one back.
Yes, yeah. So he had a certain phrase, and it's kind of exactly like it really struck me what you just, said is the same concept of like, yeah, maybe you could have like a take back phrase so it doesn't get written in the, global consciousness.
Well, so
The
interestingly,
toxic record.
Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who talked a lot about, how to live a good life, he would say that humans have to assent to thoughts. So you actually have to consent to a thought because all these thoughts come through your head every day. So let's say you think like my bead table is going to be bad, and you're like, I don't consent to that thought. So that would be like that. Like I'm not letting that one stick or stay, whereas the other ones I'll let stick and stay.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
That is a
That
good one.
I've been doing that with the dream thing lately. I know this is a total tangent, but I have told you, Andy, that I'm working on like dreams and being conscious in my dreams. And for sure, like you can't control what the storyline is so far in your dream when you realize, oh wait, I'm dreaming right now. But so you can't kind of do take backs there, but you can be like, oh, okay, so now I'm gonna change it in this way to be more positive.
Interesting. Yeah, I think consenting to thoughts is a really big part of a virtuous life, actually. If you just let any negative thought just like rule you, like mind control is so much of manifesting, of just like controlling. Like, okay, I go swimming every day or every 3 days a week, and for like an hour I'm in the pool, and like I literally think my mind never stops, right? So I have to like kind of think about what I'm gonna think about while I'm swimming. Because it's like I don't want to ruminate on something for an hour while I'm swimming. So I'm like, today I was like, I'm gonna think on attractiveness. And then I like thought about it for an hour of like, whoa, what makes your aura attractive? What makes you attractive with what you say? Like, do costumes make you attractive? Like I was like thinking about all that, but I assented to think about that.
So that's focus. You're focusing on a thought.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's like guided meditation or whatever, like and that's why in, some forms of meditation you have a mantra to entrain your brain to that rather than let it freely go to whatever it says. So instead you just be like Satnam, Satnam, or whatever, that you decide is your mantra phrase.
Yeah. Like Lumiere could trip on like enchanted Christmas, enchanted Christmas, enchanted Christmas, enchanted Christmas. You could just like trip on that phrase like over and over and over. And like, how can you not have an enchanted Christmas?
Right. 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 Because if you think about something like that, what you do is exclude everything else.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, okay, so yesterday I was tripping on boredom because, like, okay, so I'm in a monogamous relationship and I was polyamorous for like 20 years. And I was like, I have this fear of being bored in monogamy. But Jay-Z and I decided that monotonous relationships are the problem, not monogamous. And then
That's
Shane and I
really
were
funny.
like, we're in a polytonous relationship. That's when you have polytones, but you're monogamous. Which
That's,
is anyway,
that would be a great T-shirt.
Pilatinus, Pilatiny. But anyway, but then the way I've wrote my journal my way out of it was to look up all the antonyms for boredom, which were like excitement, enthrallment, enchantment, like engrossment and all this stuff. And then I was like, I am constantly engrossed with beads. I am constantly enchanted with beads. I am constantly excited by YouTubing. And like I basically started to just antonym boredom, basically. So I feel like that was me excluding boredom from the conversation. Like I'm just not even going to allow that in there. And that's what Alexander just taught me, is like that was excluding that concept so it can't like insidiously get in there, kind of thing.
So you weren't letting yourself get bored or even think about boredom.
Well, it's funny, I've been worrying about this for a year, and I got the book The Boredom Breakthrough to like study it, like, well, maybe there's something good about boredom. Like if I do get bored one day, then it'll be okay. And that's what she says, is like if you get bored, then okay, it's a place for, but then I still found myself worrying about it 1 year later. And I was like, okay, now I need to script out of this because I'm sick of worrying about this problem that doesn't, I'm creating this problem by worrying about this problem, basically. But then I realized I was lacking in vocabulary to exclude boredom. I didn't have the vocabulary of antonyms. I was like, oh, it's engrossed, excited, enthralled, enchanted, stimulated, like all these words that were anti-boredom. I needed those words. I didn't have that,
Right.
like, so.
So that you could make the picture in your mind of those things. It gets, I think, back to the Fantasia and the creating the picture and the feeling.
Yeah, totally. Those are really good lessons from today. Okay, we have 3 minutes. Let's talk about this one page and then we can stop, which is, and then we'll be on chapter 5. dare to want, and this is what I want Alexander to take from today, is you have to dare to want something, because like how you're saying, like, I don't want to have to expect this payoff. And like, what if I don't get it? Like, if I want a girlfriend and then I don't get it, like, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like it takes cojones to want something, actually. Right? It's actually kind of, in some ways, a form of laziness to not want anything. Like, whatever happens to me is fine. I'm milk
Yeah.
dust to the universe.
Right. I agree. And I will dare to want. I mean, I've been fighting that because I grew up with in a family that their mantra that was tattooed on their brains was, "That'll never work." Whatever. Well, I'm thinking about quitting this job and going for another job. Oh, I don't know. It's a good job. You don't want to quit, but Dad, I'm 15 and I don't want to pump gas the rest of my life. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's going to work. So, and that's true. I'm not making that up. So I have to dare. I've been trying to dare to want for a really long time.
Hmm.
You
All
know,
right. Well, that's a cool
so
concept.
that's what I will take.
Dare to want.
I'm going
You
to
want
want this week.
I dare to want you to come back next week.
I will come back. I want to come back. I'm wanting to come back. I'm daring to want to come back. I don't know, but I've screwed up English, but I'll be back.
All right, cool. Because this was a great combo. Any last words? We have 2 minutes, you guys.
Uh, I don't, but thank you for having me here. I will try to catch up with you guys. I'm still reading this one, which you probably can't see because the light's all messed up here.
It's
It's
like,
a
how
book.
can you catch up with existential philosophy? It's not like a math book.
That's right. Well, I want to know what's in the book, and I'm still reading "Scripting Your Life,"
Yeah,
"Scripting the Life You Want."
cool.
It's
Well,
getting very woogie woogie.
I'll text you guys about scheduling a time for next week because I
All
know
right.
Daisy has something to do. So,
Daisy
Yeah.
has something to do.
Well,
Okay.
maybe. I'm not sure. I'll check my calendar.
okay, I'll
Okay.
text you guys.
So it's
All
nine
right,
o'clock there. Okay.
I love you both.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Love bell bottoms.